Arlington has won the Super 8 Massachusetts State Championship.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ken Kohlberg, your sports broadcaster for Arlington Community Media, Inc., your local cable sports network. And I am delighted today to be here with the captains of the Arlington Spy Ponders 2018 Boys Varsity Soccer team. The three captains, they are the toast of the town along with their teammates. They are the Division II North champions this year, and they're on this weekend on Saturday to play in the state championship for Division II in Massachusetts. They're ranked in the top 2 teams in the state right now, and they're looking to become the #1 team in the state on Saturday. They are the first boys team in the history of the Arlington High School boys soccer program to have won the Division II North title. And as I mentioned, they are on to the state championship on Saturday. So we're going to meet the captains this afternoon. We're going to ask them some questions about the season. First to my right is the senior captain, Will Clifford. To the right of Will is senior captain Francesco Valagusa. And to the right of Francesco is senior captain Tiago Gomes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with Will Clifford. Will, I'm going to ask you just to describe, if you would, what you see as the high points and the struggles that the team faced this year in its championship year.
Definitely some high points in the season was beating BC High. That proved that we can play with any team that we play. And I guess in terms of low points, towards the end of the season, we were hit with a bunch of losses and ties. Not a bunch, but a few. And I guess it hurt our ego. And we were able to come back from it, and obviously now where we are, we kind of forgot about that. So
yeah, Will liked that BC High game because that was the game where he scored the game-winning goal on the road against BC High. Francesco, what about you? What do you see as the high points and the struggles on the season?
I would definitely say some of our high points was the first third of the season, where we went basically undefeated and we beat first place Belmont 4-1 to knock them off the first place seed. And I really think that that showed us who we were, and showed us that we could compete for the league, but we're also just as good as we were last year, and we could be even better. But a low point, I agree with Will, is that part where we struggled a little bit at the end, and we kind of lost it after we lost to Lexington, then we tied Reading, and then we struggled to beat Woburn. And games like that, when we got kind of down, was definitely a low point. Yep.
Tiago, what about you?
I'd say, kind of starting with the struggle, our first out-of-league game against Boston Latin, we came out super flat, really wasn't good enough. And I think that we kind of realized that something was missing, just right at that moment. And then to piggyback kind of off what my other captains have already said, we started to slow down a little bit at the end of the season, I thought. And then even going into the first tournament game against Belmont, we struggled a little bit in that game, I thought. But then the high point kind of started right at the end of that game when we won that penalty shootout, and then going through all the way to the D2 North Finals. I mean, those 2 games at Manning Bowl were just amazing, and just unlike any other experience I've ever had. So that was just amazing, I'd say.
Well, that's well put, Tiago. I see what you're saying, and certainly the 2 Manning Bowl games were absolutely thrilling. And you're right, the Belmont game, they surprised you because you'd beaten them twice during the regular season, and then they took you to penalty kicks. So that was a struggle to come through that first game in the playoffs, but you certainly came out of it well. Now, let me start again with you on this next question, Tiago. What, if anything, has surprised you this year with respect to the team, looking back at the season?
I'd say just honestly how prolific our offense has been. We were good last year, but then, I should have known we didn't graduate any seniors from our offense. And then just how everything's kind of come together since then. I was worried about this year, graduating some big pieces, and then just everyone absolutely stepped up. Lucas Plotkin didn't get a lot of playing time last year, but he stepped up big, scored a lot of big goals for us. And then just Sean stepped up, scored more goals. Francesco, of course, scored more goals too, and even Will. So I just how the great string of form our offense has been on has been amazing. And then it kind of came together towards the end of the season with our defense too, we started getting a bunch of shutouts. We've suffered like 1 goal this tournament. It's just been absolutely amazing. I think that how everything's kind of come together since then.
Yeah. Yeah, Francesco, you had something to do with the offense this year. Francesco was the Middlesex League's leading scorer. Let me ask you, Francesco, anything that you view this year as a surprise?
I really, I think the defense was a surprise because graduating, obviously, Ben Wasco, huge key goalie, and then Max McCursey, Aide, and Lloyd, those like all our captains and like the returners, they're all like senior defenders. And so once you graduate that, like that was a big part of our defense that had gone missing. And then Tiago stepped up, Ben stepped up, Alon stepped up, Nick and Noah stepped up, and Declan stepped up a lot to like clamp that middle up. And I was surprised at how well our defense, because obviously if we didn't let in many goals, our offense could hold out and score enough to win. And they held out very well on defense. So
interesting. Yeah, that's a great point. The defense was outstanding this year. Will, what about you? Any thoughts on surprises this year? Anything surprised you?
Well, I'm going to be honest. When we lost last year, I was a little worried because, like they said, we had a lot of missing holes to fill. And I was surprised that like everyone on that team stepped up, whether it was in games, practices. Everyone did what they needed to do to make the team better and come this far.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Now, you're all captains this year, and it's a very special distinction, I would say, to be the captains on the first team, as I said, in the history of the Arlington Boys program, to win the Division II North. So I think we do want to ask you individually to sort of describe your individual leadership style and tell us a little bit about what being a captain has meant to you. And let's start with you, Will. Peter,
well,
your brother Peter was a captain too, correct?
Yes, he certainly was.
All right, so tell us from your perspective.
Well, me, at least as a captain, I don't know a ton about soccer, if I'm being honest. Like, I view myself more as like trying to stay positive, hype the team up, and like if someone's feeling down or like needs to talk to someone like that's not a coach, then I'll be there for them. And also like what I've learned from being a captain is that like whatever you do is going to impact what like everyone else on the team does. And if you make a mistake, you know, you have to learn from it, and you need to make sure that everyone else on the team learns from that too.
Good. Interesting. Francesco, you're also the younger brother of a captain too.
Yes.
Tommaso was a captain. Were Tommaso and Peter the same year?
No, Peter was
1 year.
1 year apart. Francesco, tell us a little bit about your individual leadership style as a captain.
Well, I always like to lead by example and like lead from the front. Like going into the season, like at tryouts, I tried to like run ahead of the group. At the camp, I tried to run ahead of the group because I want like people like to like want to like I want to inspire them and be like, I want to be like that kid, and I want everyone to like try their hardest, like run as hard as they can, like don't give up, like fight for what they want. And like I always try and like when like big tournament games roll around or like the big Lexington games and stuff, I always try and talk to everyone individually and like make sure they know what their role is and like get them excited for the game and hyped up.
Tiago, what about you? Captain Tiago.
Yeah, well, I think as a lot of people like that know me would say, like I'm a little bit on the quieter side, I'd say. Like even I admitted myself, but like I think when I'm on that soccer field, I'm always just leading by example, just playing as hard as I can always, and just inspiring people to play with me. And like I'm just yelling out everything I can, just giving people positive reinforcement. Because like I know there's a lot of captains out there too that like say, like they'll yell on the field a bunch. Sometimes it's just useless stuff. I try to make sure everything I say has some application to the team, and just like even off the field, like there were some tournament games this year when I was like just like calling out to kids, making sure everyone was focused and everything like that, and just trying to make sure that everyone stays focused during the game, on and off the field during like halftime and stuff like that.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Now, let's start this next question with Francesco, because Francesco is famous for practicing his shots at all hours of the day and dribbling up and down his street and doing that little bit of extra that that's needed to be a champion, as these Arlington Spy Ponders are this year. Francesco, my question to you is, how are you preparing, and to your captains, mentally and physically, in specific for this Saturday's state championship match?
Well, physically, I can say like we have practice this week, and like I'm definitely going to be stretching out, making sure I'm like ready for the game, making sure I'm not injured in any way, and like just resting up, you know, the usual. But like mentally, like I just gotta prepare myself to like fight hard and like not give up no matter the situation of the game, and like to be ready for a tough opponent, because Nauset is gonna be good. But I just gotta go out there strong and make sure the team comes out strong with me.
Will, what about you? Big day on Saturday coming up?
Definitely. Physically, I mean, Francesco pretty much summed it up. Mentally, I just think I need to be mentally strong, and you know, if we get down one goal, like us three, we need to be the guys to like encourage our team and be, hey, like come on, we have this, like the game isn't over and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
What about you, Tiago? What are you thinking?
Well, I'd say like at this point, the mental aspect is huge. Like coming to the season, my main goal was to win like the D2 North championship, and I mean we did that, and I'm sure a lot of people are extremely happy with that. But just making sure like we got another game this Saturday. This is like the biggest one yet, the biggest one of our careers pretty much. Just making sure everyone's focused and everyone has that hunger to go out and win that game.
Let me pick up on that for a sec. So last year in the D2 final, you guys made it to the D2 final and lost in the final. Is that right?
Yeah.
So is there any sort of lingering thoughts about that in your mind, Tiago?
100%. It was in everyone's mind. Like right after that game, we were like, well, I mean, that could be like the height of our high school careers right there. And we were like, we just don't want that to be the case. So like everyone was just like, we got to win that again. Like there's no way we're leaving this program without winning that. And like we just came back and we were just so ready to go from the moment like the season started. And we had our eyes set on the prize the whole time.
Right. Will, tell us, so what has it meant to you this year to take home in your senior year as a captain the D2 North Championship?
Honestly, like everything, because like you just said, we lost last year, and from the day we lost, like every time soccer is mentioned, like I just think about that and how that feeling felt, and to win this year was just like everything.
Fantastic. What about you, Francesco?
I honestly, like, it was like an amazing feeling. Like I started crying after the game. I was so happy. Like I looked at Tiago and we were like, we did it. Cause like I've been playing soccer with him for so long, and like this is like our goal. Like this is what we wanted to do. And after a loss like last year's, like it was tough to come back from that. But we came back, and like we were not gonna fall like that again. And so we made sure to like see it out, and like it was really a special win.
Tiago, why don't you tell us what it was like to hoist that piece of hardware when you took home the championship last weekend?
Well, just an amazing feeling. Like Francesco said, that's been the goal of mine and a goal of ours. Just like since we got to this program, just like I think it was always kind of like, I mean, sophomore year it didn't look like we could do it. It was all kind of in the back of our heads, like, well, it would be amazing to win that. But then it started to become a reality last year, and like just losing felt so bad. But now that like we won this year, looking back on that, I'm just so thankful it happened. It gave us so much experience and so much drive, and just like lifting that trophy with my teammates was just like one of the best feelings ever. After like all the adversity we faced, I think it was amazing.
Very nice, very nice. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Tell us a little bit about what your plans are for next year. I know you're not thinking about next year, you're thinking about Saturday and the state championship game, but Will, what do you, any thoughts on next year?
Well, unfortunately, I will not be continuing my soccer career, at least for the college, like their team. You know, I promised one of my friends and myself that I would try out for the club team, so hopefully I can make that and still have soccer be a part of my life. But ultimately, I'm not trying to get recruited or like go anywhere for soccer.
Okay. What about you, Francesco?
Well, I do want to play college soccer, and right now I have a couple like options open for me from WPI or Union. I'm not really sure. I have to decide which one, but yeah,
You're going to keep playing?
Yeah, I'm going to keep playing.
Very nice. What about you, Tiago?
Well, I mean, I'm destined, like, I really want to keep playing, too. I mean, whether at the varsity or the club athletics level in college. So, like, I mean, I'm in talks with some coaches, probably going to apply to their schools, and then I'll just keep talking to them, trying to convince them to take me. I mean, I'm going to try and get them to watch me this spring in the club season and everything like that. And then just if it's one of the coaches I haven't been talking to, I'll just walk on and try to make the team, I think. But I mean, either way, I'm just going to try as hard as I can.
Well, good approach for all three of you, because I can tell you that that you guys are the talk of the town, and lots of people believe, as I do, that your soccer careers are just beginning. So, Will, you may not think you're going to be playing next year, but when you walk into that university, they'll probably get you. They'll reel you in, and you'll be playing. Guys, we want to wish you the best of luck on Saturday. We want to thank you on behalf of Arlington Community Media, Inc. for coming in and talking with us. You guys have made Arlington very, very proud. And when you walk down the street, you keep your heads up. Good luck on Saturday. Let's bring home the state title. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm Ken Kohlberg, your sports broadcaster for Arlington Community Media, Inc. Once again, we have Will Clifford, senior captain, Francesco Valagusa, senior captain, and Tiago Gomes. And we wish the boys good luck on Saturday at 3 p.m. at Zavarian Brothers School in Westwood, Massachusetts, at 3 p.m. when the Arlington Spy Ponders take on the team from Nauset for the state championship, Division II. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Signing off.